we got a question from Guillermo, who is a Judo black belt and he's a Jiu-Jitsu purple belt, and he's a bit of an older guy. He's about 51 years old right now, and he's having a struggle with some of the younger cats in his gym, like many of you guys that are a bit older are having as well. So check it out. He's 51 years old, and he says that with his Judo background, he's able to like do his sweeps and his throws and everything else. He's able to get his takedowns on the younger guys, no problem, whatever. But then once it gets to the ground, he finds that the younger guys are just moving faster than him, and they're able to keep him on the defensive. And so his question to me is, he would like to be a little bit more offensive, right? Should he though? Should he just continue to focus on his defense, which is pretty good and it can keep the younger guys at bay? Or should he try to make, in some way, shape, or form, a plan to be more offensive with his jiu-jitsu? And so he sends that message to me, that question to me. So brother, thanks for the question. So let's talk about you being a little bit older and wanting to be a little bit more offensive against these younger, faster opponents that you have in the gym. So, and this kind of goes back to the voice message that I sent you through social media. So thinking about the situation, there's probably a lot of factors going on. You've got younger, more youthful jiu-jitsu practitioners who have youth and speed and all these different things going on. But from the sound of it, it's interesting. So when you're taking them down, right, you're able to grapple with them on the feet just fine and take them down. This could be a situation where maybe they just don't have any stand-up training. That could be a possibility. But it could also be a symptom, especially when we're comparing it to your jiu-jitsu, of sort of a different methodology between grappling sports. So with wrestling, and I believe Judo is very much in the same way from some of the friends that I have that are in Judo. I'm sure it's not the same across the board, but from some of my friends that did Judo, it was very much this way. But I'm going to speak from wrestling. In wrestling, when we got into wrestling, we knew that there were going to be a lot of techniques and that we had to like play around with them and dabble with them. But we also understood that we're not possibly going to remember them all. And we don't need to remember them all because it's not important, right? We don't need to remember every single technique in wrestling. What we were trying to do is fill around and find something that we were good with and then make that our move, right? We could be really good with this small little sliver of wrestling. That's the way that we were taught, at least I was, and it served me pretty well. And when you look at wrestling and you look at Judo, a lot of times you'll find that if you do like some searches and like highlight reels, things like that, you'll find that a particular wrestler will be synonymous with a particular takedown or throw or pinning combination, whatever it might be. And it's the same thing with the judoka, right? You'll find that a particular judoka is sort of associated with a particular throw or whatever it might be. You know, they use that thing over and over and over again until it becomes like it's their move. Now, when you get over to jiu-jitsu, one of the things that I think hinders people, like in a big way early on, is that they feel like they're supposed to remember everything, right? That somehow they're supposed to remember all these different techniques, all these endless variations and different positions and everything else. And by the way, stuff is constantly being changed up and sort of innovated every single day, right? As I've said in my videos before, you don't need to remember everything. You don't have to. It's okay. A lot of times with jiu-jitsu practitioners, like the way that black belts might say to another black belt is about how cool that guy is or how good they are. Man, that black belt's forgotten more jiu-jitsu than I even know because we forget all kinds of stuff. It's normal. And so getting to that, I'm curious, and again, only you can answer this question, but you seemed like you were receptive to it when I sent you in the social media message. And so hopefully this could be useful to some of you other older guys who might be rolling with some younger people in your gym. When you get to the ground, since you're able to take these young guys down, no problem, you do your throw, whatever, you take them down. When you get to the ground, I would try to find that same methodology that you have on the feet, which is like you probably have a very small sliver of judo techniques that you depend on primarily, right? Those are your moves. You know how to set them up pretty well, and you can use them effectively. You want to take that same methodology down to your ground game. Especially when you're being offensive, you want to start to say, okay, what are my offensive weapons? Not like what are my like possibilities, because those are endless. But what are the things that I'm best with? What can I use? And again, for anybody that's a white belt that's new to this, you may not know yet, but Guillermo is a purple belt. He knows. He has some idea, right? You'll find this stuff over time if you're new. But what are your weapons? And then you try to focus on those as much as possible. And what happens is let's say that you know your guard pass, you know your sweeps, and you know your submissions from whatever position you're trying to hit, and you're only focused on those. What ends up happening is you begin to seem faster than what you really are. Because let's say that you pass the person's guard and you get to side control, and you have a particular side control submission that you're looking for, that you're hunting for when you're rolling. Well, you're going to be making the transitions necessary to set that thing up as soon as you get to the position. So that's going to give you the appearance of being faster, opposed to getting to side control, holding position, and then saying, okay, what do I want to do in this position? Because there's seemingly endless amounts of opportunities and possibilities there, and that's going to create hesitation, and it's going to slow you down because it's going to give you that sort of analysis paralysis situation. And again, as an older guy who's 51 years old, you don't want to sort of do anything that's going to slow you down because you don't have the speed to lose, right? You've got to make up a little bit. And so doing this will make you a little bit faster by basically focusing on only the stuff that you're going to try to use at that given point with your offensive weapons. It'll make you a bit faster and probably help you sort of cover some of that ground between you and the younger cats in your gym. So Guillermo, hopefully that helps you, brother. Good luck to your training. And any of you guys that are a little bit older, hopefully that idea maybe connects with you and hopefully it helps you with your training as well. So thanks for the question, brother. I'll talk to you guys next time.